and welcome to another episode of Beautiful Girl on the Internet trying to teach beautiful people how to draw. Today I'm going to be showing you how to draw the head and the face from difficult and stupid angles. My credentials are, and I'm going to be very vulnerable right now, but it's going from this to this in like a span of a few days. And was this video inspired by this trend? Yes. Am I like 4 months late to this? Maybe. Did I actually record the drawing process for this video like 3 months ago, but then I had college and exams and my major is so fucking boring, I just had to postpone it? Perhaps. Is this intro starting to be a bit too long and too chaotic and we should just cut to the drawing? Absolutely. Okay, so for this video we're going to be using pics of yours truly, me with greasy hair, so please be nice. And our first thing to do will be laying down and marking some base landmarks shapes that will contribute to our actual drawing, not looking fucking insane and run over by that thing that Plankton was evening out the road in that one SpongeBob episode. So the shapes we will be cooperating with today will be circles and straight lines. I'm doing it on my iPad, you can also do that on PC and Paint, or just turn up the brightness all the way up on your phone and lay a piece of paper on top and just trace. So the first thing I'm going to do is mark the top of the head with circles. Since we're drawing the head from weird angles, sometimes the circle will be overlapping over the entire face, and that is okay. Just make sure it is touching the top of the head. Actually, the top of the head, like if somebody has big hair, then like ignore the hair and just mark the top of the head. Also make sure that it's not sticking out too much on the sides. Also, the way I do things is loosely inspired by the Loomis method. It's not Loomis method exactly, because to be honest I can't use it. I've tried, I don't know how people actually make faces look good with it. Mine just look very, I don't know, mechanical. I just don't like using it and I use this method instead. Okay, next thing to do is marking and landmarking the middle of the face with one either straight or curved line. Usually the line is straight when the person you're drawing is right in front of you, no matter if you're looking up or down on them. And the line usually is curved when you look at the person from their side. Next important landmarks to landmark with a straight line are the eye line, the nose, and the mouth corners. Mouth corners are pretty simple, but when it comes to the eye line, pick either inner or the outer corners you are going to connect with that line, because it's pretty rare for people to actually have inner and outer corner on the same level, so pick one, stick to one. Also marking the nose from certain angles. Different parts of the nose will be on different levels. I think if you mark this part like in the middle instead of the nostrils is going to be the easiest way to do it, because then you'll have easier time measuring out where the tip of the nose is and where the nostrils are going to be, because it's kinda in the middle. Also, if you want, you can just mark all of them. But as I always say, try out different things, see what works best for you. A huge part of learning art, and actually anything, is just looking at how other people do stuff and modifying it in a way that best suits you. I'm just showing you my process, but only by experimenting will you be able to ever find yours and the one that suits you the best. Okay, now that we have all of these down, we can turn the opacity down and move on to actual drawing, which I'm going to do on paper, so I'm going to see you there. Okay, I am inside of the sketchbook, so we can start. Okay, I have my iPad and all of my drawn circles and lines in front of me, and I bet you won't be able to guess what we are going to do next, but we are going to draw those circles and lines on paper. So we're going to start with drawing the circle. You can also divide it into equal quarters. It makes drawing the lines that mark the face features easier. I didn't show you adding them on my iPad, but you can add them to the initial landmarking drawing. And then on top of that circle and cross, we will add those straight lines. It's important to pay attention to the distance in between those lines and their angles in their relationship to one another, and just estimating by eye if the vibe checks out. Okay, and now using those lines as reference points, we will start sketching the actual head and face, starting with bigger elements and working our way up to smaller elements. So we are going to start with the jawline, neck, and outlining the hair. Then, without adding much detail yet, we are going to mark general shapes and placement of face features. Only after those shapes are down and in the right place, we can start adding in more details. like the pupil, eyelashes, giving the eye more refined shapes, adding some texture and eyebrows and maybe some basic shading. When you first start to draw in the actual features, you have to pay a lot of attention to the lines we draw at the beginning. You have to focus to make sure that you're drawing the right part of the face at the right line, and also pay a lot of attention to different parts of the face. Are they below or above the line, or how far away are they? Are the angles at which those relate to the initial line? Keep comparing your drawing to the reference photo and check if it looks right. If the nose maybe is too small, just like mine was here at first, or if anything else just feels off, correct it as you go. Also, my go-to move when the face looks weird but you cannot really pinpoint what that is, always check the eyes first, especially the pupils, because they contribute a lot to the overall look of the face, and if they will be off, everyone will be able to clock it immediately, even though they won't be able to pinpoint at first what actually makes the face look so... yeah. Another thing to be aware of that will be most noticeable in this example, since this is the most extreme angle, so if you're second screening this, then focus for a moment. Our brains have this thing where when you don't fully know how to do something and you're doing something new, they will try to pull you back into safer territory and flatten what you are already doing. And what I mean by this is, let's take this eye here for example. Because it's a pretty steep angle and because of the fear of flopping, some people will try to stick to what they already know and just draw a flattened version of an eye they already know how to draw. So it will look something like this. And we don't want that. That's why it is very important to keep looking and noticing and analyzing the reference instead of trying to draw what you think will look right. If you're having a hard time noticing the actual shapes, just trace them over the pic and see what you get. Here, instead of an eye shape, you would get something that almost looks like right-angled triangle. So just don't be stubborn in recreating what you already know instead of learning new stuff. It's not going to benefit you in the long run. And also your drawings will just look like this. And here's our finished study of heads drawn at a stupid and difficult angles. And this is the end of the video! I hope you have learned something. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments. This time there's 34 people watching my videos. I still love you guys, thank you so much. So I can still respond to everybody. Can you imagine this video blows up and I get hundreds of comments and I actually can't respond to everyone? That would be very false advertising of me. And if you are still here, thank you so much for spending your time with me. If you enjoyed it, it would be very kind of you to like this video. And also subscribe to my channel because I would love to see you again. That is all. I love you. Bye. Not in the mood to do that. She's not in the mood to do that either.